Welcome to the Valder Beebe Show, filmed live and on location in Dallas, Texas. The Valder Beebe Show brings stimulating, intelligent, and insightful conversation about real-life success and issues with solutions. And now, here's Valder Beebe.
Welcome to the Valder Beebe Show, live from Dallas, Texas. And you can see us on Nia Vision Online. Today it's my honor and my pleasure to talk with Donald Payton here in Dallas. He's a historian. Donald, welcome to the show.
Thank you for inviting me.
We're at the Freedman Cemetery. This is a marvelous place. We're going to talk a little bit about the history. Tell us about the Freedman Cemetery and why is it here in this busy urban area?
Well, when the cemetery was first established back in 1859, it was basically, this was the boondocks. It was the edge of town. And nobody or anything was over here except the black people who lived in the nearby Freedmanstown. Well, as town grew and expanded, then it became more and more traffic around it. So what had happened is that people started to move. And this cemetery was virtually deserted. So in the 1940s, they created a new thing called a freeway system. And the Central Expressway came right through the edge of the cemetery. And in the process, they dug up all of the tombstones and used the tombstones for fill. We've only got two existing tombstones now, one called A Darling Boy and one for Emma McEwen, who was a slave woman. So when people moved, the care of this place went down and nobody thought about it anymore. So then they started, in the 80s, they started to expand the cemetery. So I was a commissioner for Dallas County, along with some more people, decided that, hey, enough was enough. We needed to do something to protect our early cemetery. Because as the saying goes, as we are, they once were, and as they are, we soon shall be.
There you go.
See?
I like that one.
So we formed a committee and brought in the Texas Department of Transportation, the State Highway Department, the county, and the city, and they all formed a group to dig up the remains of about 1,500 people and rebury them in the cemetery. So all of them that were affected by the freeway were moved to another section in the cemetery here. So they had a bid to develop a cemetery project, and an artist named David Newton designed the statues that you will see. He designed the whole cemetery project. We have a water system here, which is symbolic of crossing over. The city is supposed to run water through here. That's crossed over because in our heritage, everything was based on water. You know, the river from Africa, the river Jordan is chilling cold, chills my body but not my soul. The wade in the water, children. All of our songs were based in and about water, which water was a symbol of freedom, crossing over. So then we have the statues.
The middle, yeah. What are these two? These two dressed in contemporary, 19th century clothing at the time.
Well, these were what we call the emancipated soul. And as you will see in this, as you do this program, you will see the struggling soul, the violated soul, and as you come into here, you will see the griot. Her job is to tell the story of the people who were buried here, and you will also see the warrior, whose job is to protect the memory of the people who were here. So I'm very tied in this because I've got some great ancestors buried in here. I don't know where they are. I know
where are the people that are buried? Are they still buried on this actual?
Yeah, they're buried along that side, along the front over here.
But there are no markers.
Well, the whole cemetery is a marker. So
there are no individual markers?
No, That's
what we lost.
We've got two tombstones on the back over here of Emma McEwen and Darling Boy. How much light and how much joy is buried with our Darling Boy. And we've got poems and the whole, the entranceway into here is a copy cross. So when you walk in, the ground slants down, so you actually are walking into the graves. You're actually walking into the cemetery.
So this is holy ground.
Yes, yes. So this is why we have to work so hard. And we want to encourage your viewers. If you have a cemetery in your community, work to save it. Work to protect
Preserve your history.
Yes, because, well, not to preserve our history, but to preserve our story.
Our story.
You see, because we've spent so many years studying his story that we never get around to studying our story. So now it's the time that we protect our story.
I've learned something new.
Yes.
This is fascinating. So there are poems all around, I see. Because when this project was going on, it was a really big deal. But these sculptures are so imposing, from the very small African symbols of sculpture to the tortured soul and to the grieving soul. That is representing what we have gone through and where we still are.
Yes, well, David is a brilliant artist, and through this, we have been able to serve as a prototype for the slave burial ground in New York and several other sites where they have found burial grounds. So we're very proud of this, because now we have something that we can show people that tells the story of our families. And again, I encourage people to work to preserve the cemeteries. It can be something the kids can get involved in. It can act as a school program or project. It can act as a church project. Or the family reunion can get together at family reunion time.
That's a great idea.
And clean up the cemeteries and visit the cemeteries.
That's a great idea.
So this is different things that we can do to preserve our heritage.
Well, this is a way also to once again, because when people complain that there is no actual black community, you have to find something that will connect you in your blackness.
Yes. Well, this is what the whole thing is about. I'm hoping that your program will affect people, that people will see this and say, hey, that's a good idea. And, that catches on. That's something that can be passed on, is preservation.
You've done a wonderful job here in Dallas helping people to remember who they are, whether they're black or non-black. That seemed to be what you inspire in people. Well,
this is the American story. The American story is everybody, like I said, we all came over in different ships, but we're in the same boat now.
We're in the same boat.
So we have all got to work to preserve what we consider valuable to our community. And at this point, this is what we consider valuable.
Donald, I thank you so much for what you know and who you are. But as we wrap up, I'd like to know, because you're such a wealth of information, what do you know to be true in your heart?
Well, like I said earlier, if we don't do it, it won't be done. And again, as we are, they once were, and as they are, we soon shall be.
That's a very, very powerful parting statement. Donald, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you.